So definitely hop on the app, so you can interact with us. I definitely appreciate all the love, the comments, suggestions that everybody has been giving to us. As always, we have interesting, thought-provoking topics. Today we have great topics as well. On the show today, of course, you have John, which is me, and
Naomi,
Dawn,
Megan.
Okay, and Don and Megan, you guys have probably, for people that have been following us, you've seen them here a couple times, and Naomi's new to the platform, so she's a new guest on here today. Real quick before we start, just want to make sure the sound is good. Can we get some feedback to those that are watching? How does the sound sound?
How does the sound sound? Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Okay, so that sounds good. Okay, cool. How was everybody's week?
We're making it. Trying to, keep my mental and everything in check, but I'm trying to stay aware and trying to find my peace, so I'm finding the balance.
Yeah. It was a crazy week, especially with what was going on or what is still going on in the world. So it's just been ridiculous.
Yeah. So it's been good to see progress and the actions that have been taken.
Yeah.
So that's been great. It's also, so initially, as everybody knows, the other 3 officers were arrested or whatnot. But I thought the protests and everything would stop. It's interesting to see that it's still going on.
No, we need more.
Now it's
we need more
pushing for more, so I am happy to see that. I'm happy to see that people are being safe. People being safe. Corona's still there.
Corona is still here.
Is it though?
It's ridiculous though, because I was part of the protest and there was like 60,000 people. So where's the Corona?
Because we're about to find out. We're about to find out in like 2 weeks.
No, Corona is still here. I actually have a couple friends in the medical field, and they're saying as much as y'all don't think is going on, Texas alone, I think as of last Sunday, they had about 2,000 more cases and 24 deaths. So it's still here, but I think black don't crack. So I think we're good.
The heat, I'm not
the heat is hot.
The heat
a little bit.
But definitely y'all be safe out there. That's all. I don't want to dive too deep into all of that. Not unless y'all have something to say.
No, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, it's all about safety, right? Because we're seeing a bunch of stuff on social media where it's people are safely protesting, but the police are not being safe with those safe protesters.
Right.
So there's just, if anything, just be vigilant, just be cognizant of your surroundings. If you need to run.
Yeah.
Get you some not riot gear, but get you some protective equipment.
Yeah.
Because they be in there with what do they call, not flash? I was gonna say flash grenade, with tear gas and stuff. So and people are just getting hurt. So.
Yeah, I saw a video with the 75-year-old man who got
that hurt my soul.
And
that
broke my heart. He tripped.
Which guy tripped me?
What kind of trip was that?
That's not a trip anything. And
you see the other officer try to help him, and then
and he told him to don't do that.
I was like, this is wild.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure if this reported drove, but they said the 2 officers got suspended, and then there was 47 other officers that basically said, well, we're not doing our job anymore if you suspend us, being that you suspend us.
That's fine.
No way.
So they clearly showed that they saw nothing wrong in what they did.
Yeah. Oh, if you fire yourself.
They should go. They clearly haven't been doing their job this whole time.
Yeah. So you can clearly tell that not everybody has the same mindset out there. So y'all definitely be safe out there. Know that you're doing going out and coming in. So let's just go ahead and jump right into the first topic of today. It says, you're currently going through a difficult time financially and are being offered $5 million by a couple to be a surrogate mother. So I guess this will be for, beginning with both Naomi and Megan. Will you take the offer? and then it says it's, I can't say this word, gestational, yeah. And you already have 2 children, 3 and a 4-year-old. So it's a lot of stipulations to it, obviously, right? So you're already a mother, you got 2 kids, you're going through a tough financial time, and here comes this couple who offers you $5 million to be the surrogate mother.
American dollars,
Yeah.
not like Zimbabwean dollars. Nothing wrong with my Zimbabwean dollars.
Inflation protected.
So American, not Canadian. I can't answer. I'm not
He's asking more questions than we are. Are we talking 5 million euro? Are we talking naira? Which one are we speaking?
US dollars.
Definitely a lot of money.
There's a lot of money, man.
I would say first. Okay, this is the first thing. Depends on my living situation. Now, am I married? Chances are I'm married. So I have to ask my husband how he feels about me carrying around another family's child. So once we talked about it, if we're both in a financial bind, then it's like, I would say yes, I would do it, because there's this time that I traveled to Cali. And I seen this woman, and she had like 6 kids. Like, she's very, like, she's small like her. And she had all these kids, and she was pregnant. And I was like, I asked her, with another one, but she was like, maybe 3 or 4 months pregnant. And I asked her, I was like, you bounce back quick. I can tell you're smart, you have all these kids. She's like, I'm a surrogate. Ooh. And I was like, oh, like, it was at the airport. She was with all her cute little children. And I was like, wow. Like, she said that she's a surrogate for a living. So this is what she does, is she carries other people's kids because she doesn't seem to have issues with childbirth. So, you know, I think, considering the fact that she's done it before with her own kids, that, you know, why not help another family have children? So if you're healthy and you have good genes and they've gone through that process, I don't see what the issue is. It's the same thing as putting up a child for adoption. Have a child.
Is there a certain amount? How much does surrogate? I don't want to say how much do they go for, but how much do they? I can think that they don't usually get compensated $5 million.
They normally get like 60,000.
Yeah, between
60,
40 to 60,000
per kid.
Yeah, per kid. Yeah.
Unless you're Beyonce or, you know, Kim Kardashian, right? That's probably a different amount. But, you know, I don't think it's.
That's
I mean, but it's just why. But another question is, well, why? Like, do you want to surrogate because you don't want to mess up your own body, so you want someone else to do it? Because I know some women, I have friends who have said that they don't want to mess up their body that they've worked hard for, working out, you know, because unfortunately, as a woman, when you have children, your body starts to kind of turn to just a little bit of a sack of potatoes if you're not mindful. And, you know, with a man, you want to be able to keep his appeal, his attention. And I know men are supposed to love their wives no matter what, but visually, sometimes it's like, they're kind of like, I don't mind my woman not having our kids and someone else having them, but it still has our DNA.
Yeah, no.
Oh, like
I'm sorry, I don't agree with it.
Some people feel like that.
Yeah, I don't agree.
Totally. Well, but for me, I feel like, no. I feel like when it comes to me, if like I'm having a child or if I'm pregnant or whatever, I'll be bonded with that child. It will be hard for me to just let that child go. Just like that. It doesn't matter like how much they're paying me, it doesn't matter whatever, because it's like that bond is there. And most surrogates, normally when they go through that process and when they give birth to the child, it's hard for them to like let the child go because that bond is already there. Like the placenta and everything, that's a connection. So it would be hard. So I feel like for me, I feel like it would be really hard for me to do that because like that bond will be there, you know, that connection will be there. I wouldn't just want to just let my child go like that.
Yeah.
For money.
But that child doesn't have any of your DNA. It's someone else's DNA. So what bond would you have?
It would still be a bond because that surrogate's the one that carried the child. That person did it, no matter what. Just like Kim Kardashian, she didn't carry her third, or was it the third or the fourth child? Yeah, she didn't. She had a surrogate do that. So there will still be like a type of bond. It might not be totally, but it will still be there because that woman carried that child for those 9 months. So you just give it up.
So you wouldn't do it for $5 million? $5 million US dollars.
I don't think you guys know that.
I mean,
people retire on that money. I'll be set for life. You know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
One child.
What if you still have a chance? You still have option to be a part of the child's life. You can interact with the
You
child.
can meet the child like once every 2 months. Once every month. Okay, once every 3 weeks.
No, man. It would just,
Yeah,
for me, it would
it's
just
rough.
be really hard.
Yeah,
Even if
yeah.
I want to do that, it would be really, really tough.
I
for me
definitely
to
see the connection.
cross
It's saying
Yeah.
It would be hard.
carrying a child because whatever you eat is what the child eats. Whatever
Right,
you feel is what
right.
the child feels.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The emotions.
And
all
9
that.
months
so
is
you're
a-
actually cultivating.
9 months is a long ass time.
It is.
So
not-
for you to basically be used to something in your stomach for 9 months and then go through the stress of labor, and just I guess everything post labor, it's like, damn, I want my child, you know. So it's like you do something, you work so hard, and then you see a result, right? But it's definitely way more than that for having a kid. So I can understand women not wanting to do the whole surrogate thing. It's even for the money or not for the money or whatever it is. But yeah, I guess some people out there are just like,
But I mean,
shit,
I
show
feel
me
like
the
if it helps another family, let's say
Yeah.
it's not for vanity reasons, but
Right.
for health reasons. Like, okay, let's say a husband and wife, like me, I have sickle cell, the sickle cell trait. So let's say that my husband has sickle cell trait. Now, if we both marry and have a child together, then technically our child will end up having sickle cell, 25% chance. Now, there's a way that science can kind of fix it or do something where maybe one of the traits are just not as exposed or whatever, and the surrogacy would, let's say that would protect my child, then
Yeah.
I would be open to it.
Right.
You know, I think it's different. And let's say you don't want to necessarily go through the process of an adoption, but you want like a fresh, brand new child, like fresh baked, out
Fresh
the
baby.
oven, warm and hot, then yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
So I think it just depends on the circumstance because you have to think in the mind of the people who are going through these issues. Like, what is the reason? And then also it's kind of like it's a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
I may need the money, you need the baby.
yeah.
What's up?
And I think like with surrogate moms, do they use, I guess, the husband's sperm? I'm guessing if it's healthy, that would be the case, or
So
Who's?
so how?
no, it's implanted in.
The
So-
insemination, right?
Yeah,
So
of the husband,
of the husband.
The husband.
the man and woman. You don't
Right.
know if they're married, but the man and woman of the family.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I just think it just depends on the circumstance because I can't judge a family that can't have a child.
Yeah.
Because
So I'm gonna go back to what you said real quick about basically you not wanting to, well, I guess a woman not wanting to mess up her body for,
Vanity.
and basically stay fit and look good for your husband still. At the end of the day, like our bodies are going to deteriorate, right? Like it's gonna break down, whether it's now, tomorrow, eventually, whenever. I think your husband should still love you in any kind of situation whatsoever because you're having his kid, y'all's kid at least, right? So for me, if say my wife told me, oh, I don't want to hurt my body because I want to make sure that I'm still fit looking and this and that for you, and so I can still be appealing to you, I'd be like, no, like that's not enough reason to get a surrogate. Go ahead and if you can, if you're healthy enough and all that, let's, do it the traditional way. There's nothing wrong with that. If anything, you bouncing back, I'll help you. I'll be there for you. I'll make sure that if you have to go to the gym or be fit or do this and do that, I'll help you achieve those goals and getting your body to what it used to be before, and still even love you even better. To
But
make
look
sure
at
that
you have muscle. See, first of all, please preach these same things to all those uncles who are running
No,
these small
I mean-
girls while their
Big
wives
belly.
have 6 and 7 of their children.
But that-
And because that's the thing is, I'm not gonna lie, I've been a bartender before, /
Yeah.
a bottle girl.
Yeah.
So my audience tends to be older married men.
Yeah.
Come to the club, ready to pop bottles, all of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And when I'm sitting there and I'm serving them, oftentimes they're like, I wish my wife had a shape like you did. She used to, but she let herself go.
I mean, it's inevitable for people to get older and not look like what they used to look like before. The letting yourself go part, I kind of have a little issue with that.
What do you mean?
But I just don't feel like people should let themselves go in terms of like what they look like. Just my own
Right.
personal thought. There's a lot of health diseases that come with you being on the obese side of things, right? So we just have to live a healthy lifestyle, if anything, at least. That's just my own take.
So Adela brings up a good point on the chat. The comment is, I think if someone's going to agree to the surrogacy, that conversation / explanation with the kids, the 3 and 4-year-old, had better happen before the 9 months are done. So she's reflecting on, you already hear kids,
Yeah.
looking at you, you're pregnant, all of a sudden, I guess, they don't see a baby anymore. Like, explaining that to your actual kids that are witnessing that is like,
But they're 3 and 4,
mean-
so I don't remember. I personally don't remember anything before maybe 6 years old. So I don't think it would really, unless it's like
They don't,
traumatizing to the child. But I think kids are so concerned. I've also been a nanny before, and kids are so concerned with the world around them that their mother being pregnant and then nothing happening afterwards. Kids don't really even understand the concept of pregnancy in general. So you don't really even tell them what's up, what's going on. It's not going to really make that much of an impression on them negatively because they're already they're exposing themselves to the world around them.
so Nigel Boy says
Johnny.
the opposite. It says, well, 4-year-olds these days are able to grasp complex things, so I will try my best to explain it to them and try and answer the questions that they might have.
Right.
Yeah, kids nowadays, they're smart.
sharp. Yeah,
like,
they're sharp.
they catch on quickly. And it's because of the age that we're in. Like, we're in the 21st century, and like, in this millennium, kids catch on really fast. So if they see their mother with like a huge belly and everything, they'll know that, okay, mom's expecting a baby, or especially when their mom will be saying it, oh, mom's expecting a baby, whatever, I'm gonna be a big brother, a big sister. All of a sudden, the baby disappears. They're gonna be like, what happened? I'm not gonna be a big brother anymore, I'm not gonna be a big sister anymore, what happened? And then for her to start explaining that.
But we also have
Even if
to.
you told them, like, does it hurt to tell them?
So we also have to realize that at say like 3, 4 years old, you're as a parent, right? You are basically informing your little ones about what's cooking in here. So, like, think about a 9-month timeline. Throughout that period, you're telling them what's going on because as a mom, pregnant mom, you're fragile, right? So you're not gonna get the playful type energy anymore to play with your 3-year-old. So you're getting a lot of information passed across to them, and that's how they are able to know what's going on. I don't see how you cannot tell a 3, 4-year-old that you're pregnant throughout like a 9-month period. I mean, even if they don't notice, like, they would notice, but you'll still say something. But it's not, I'm just saying, like, it's basically, it boils down to how much information you feed them. So they might not even know, like, down the line that you had a baby and, you know, it was a surrogate reason, so.
Jennifer says pregnancy is low-key scary.
I mean, it is.
It
Also,
is.
so I think that's
It
another
is.
thing is, you know, we have to, if you see that your 2, 3, and 4-year-old or whatever the age before the surrogacy, like ask them like, what was your birthing experience? You have to realize that, you know, it can get harder. I don't know if it gets easier. I don't have any kids, so I don't know exactly how it works. But, you know, it's just, every birth is a risk. So I think that's another thing we have to ask them. Because some women can die during childbirth. So it would just be very unfortunate if you went through this whole process and you went through the process, you did it all, and you get the money, and then, you know, God forbid, the unthinkable happens. Then I think in a situation like that, that's when you have to reconsider it. But then again, there are people who are stunt doubles who make millions of dollars doing that, and, you know, they can die doing that. So I think, you know, in many different fields of, you know, when you're trying to make money, you can risk your life. There are people who built this apartment who risk their life doing that. You know, they're at the very top, they can fall.
But there's like safety measures to avoid them from, I guess, killing themselves, as opposed to being pregnant. Anything.
What's the difference? Like,
There's a lot. I think there's a lot of difference. Birthing a child is very risky. I think it's riskier than being a stunt double. I don't know.
I mean, it depends, but I think it just depends specifically on the circumstance of the person who's having the child.
Yeah.
You have like, some people are just clumsy. So if you're not a clumsy person and you do what I said you can do, you can fall and kill
You
yourself.
can't be a clumsy person and be a stunt double. They won't hire you. You have to have a track record. You feel me?
Exactly,
And
a
it's like,
track record of giving birth and surviving. So
Right.
if you have a good track record, then it works.
well, you know, like being a stunt, doing stunts is calculated. So you're doing all these things. You know what you're about to do next.
But then
when you're popping a baby out or something, I don't think you know what you're doing. You're just trying to push, and you're like just upset at the whole world, and you know you're feeling constant pain, right? I mean, I don't know, but we've seen these things on TV. But it's not. I don't know. I have a soft spot for pregnant women because I know.
Yeah, I think it's a very sensitive topic. It's very sensitive, especially when it comes to the whole surrogacy part of it, because you never know, like, even if you've had children before, you never know what could happen at that moment when you're having another child. Different things happen.
But imagine you're suffering. Like, imagine you need money and you're in a situation where you and your spouse and your children need to eat. Your house is about to reach foreclosure. You don't have a car to repossess. If someone comes to you and says, I'm going to offer you a deal of a lifetime, take this $5 million, just have my child, you might think twice.
But the thing about the surrogacy thing is that they don't pay you until
They pay you
no.
they pay
You have to. If
you get a
I need some
bonus.
deposit.
You get a bonus.
because I know they pay you everything.
Let me hold that $1 million real quick.
About it is they take care of like your living situation. So they pay.
Let me hold that 1.25. Give me that 25%.
They pay for your prenatals. They pay for everything.
Oh, that's
so
good.
essentially, you may not get the money up front, but everything that needs to be taken care of. Like if you need a car to go to the hospital and back, they pay for it. If you need food, they pay for it. So think about it. If you're someone who's been living off of food stamps or you're living off of government assistance, I'm gonna take that $5 million because I'm broke.
Yeah.
You know?
If
If I was a woman, I'm taking
No, I'm saying, if my woman was the one in question, I'd be like, baby, see her, take her out. Just take the money up front, make sure they give you 25%, let them give you that 1.25.
You'll be comfortable with somebody else's job, not yours.
I mean, see.
So
Because
that's right.
It's her decision, right? If she's like,
but she's your woman though.
If she's like, babe.
But it's his money too. It's both of their money.
Yeah, now. What she said. So if it's her money because
If she's your wife, her money is yours. Y'all have the same money.
Okay, well, if she's my wife, no, it's not happening. There's no.
Even if
it's my girl.
but you guys are starving. You can't eat. So you're saying that it's your pride.
I don't think I'll be for it if I was.
What if she wants to do it?
Huh?
What if she wants to do it?
What if she wants to do it?
At the end of the day, it's her. Like, it's up to her, right? I mean, that's.
I mean, that's
So if she wants to do it, will you leave her?
I'll respect her, but
Would you
I'll
help
be
her through the process?
Of course. I mean, it's for better or for worse.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I signed up for, I'm not going to be for it, but again, like, marriage is forever, right? You're not going to be for everything that they do, your partner does. So you better just learn to stick with some things. I'm just saying.
That's funny.
Oh, man. So Zatani said there's a lot that's out of your control prior to labor and childbirth.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So definitely agree with what y'all saying. Chica said you do get some money up front with the surrogacy. And you were mentioning like you can actually negotiate. Is that what you said?
you can negotiate
you're
when.
carrying the baby, right?
Exactly.
So you say give me half up front.
Exactly.
Half at the end, just to secure your.
Because another thing that
that
we're not
makes
taking into consideration with this whole money thing is when a man says he wants to take his, say a man just thinks like, or the husband thinks, hey, I have a really good idea and I think that this is going to take off. And he say he needs to use his child's college fund to use the money because they don't have enough money. The wife, to be the supporter, the right thing for her to do is look, okay, well, what is your 5-year plan? What's the 5-month plan? Whatever.
Yeah.
You would want her to believe in you, to like, hey, I know that this is a risk. We don't have any money, but I think this is a surefire deal. I need you to be behind me 100%. You would want her to have that same belief in you. So that might be like somewhat of an investment on her end. Like, hey, I know you're not really feeling this right now. It could go one of which way, but me taking this 5 will only help us in our future. So I feel like, you know, men want women to trust them, and sometimes they don't even take their woman into consideration. They just take the money and go invest, and then you find out later that, oh, you just took all of our money you invested. At least I think it's the same thing on the other end. So I think if we're going to talk about taking this into consideration, the concept of the person that they're with, you should support them no matter what, because if she wasn't with you, she probably would still do it. So, you know, you might as well just...
They want to use your wife's eggs. What does that mean?
You want to be a donor? Donor? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, you know, free eggs.
Easier, actually.
This man, he said free eggs. Do you know?
That's a little different too.
Yeah, different.
So yeah, it's very different.
Giving
It's not
one of your
as...
eggs is a little bit more different than...
Is it as, I guess, it's not, is it as tedious as having a kid for somebody? I mean,
I've never given my eggs away, so I can't exactly say I
do
know
they like
the
just
process.
take it out? Yeah.
Well, I've read about it. It's actually easier, and it just takes like a month. They give you like injections and everything for you to be able to produce the eggs, and they take it out and they pay you. Like, it can pay from like 10,000.
Yeah, no,
5,000.
that's it.
So that's different.
That's just like
that's
3
very
weeks,
different.
3
So
weeks a
if you
month.
give away your eggs and then
Yeah.
your eggs
But what
come
if,
to life,
so wait, you have to
literally
produce the eggs, but you already are born with your eggs. Once you have your first period, you have all your eggs that you need
Maybe
for the
they're
rest of your life.
Yeah, but they use those injections to like try to bring them all out. Like they can take
So
out
like
like 18
possible-
eggs at once. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. For
That's
the whole
interesting.
process. Yeah.
That one, maybe like 1 million. Baby, run it.
This man is not serious.
Instead of 5.
Please.
Baby, run it, 1 billion.
Oh my God.
We'll go Cancun real quick.
This is why God made him a man.
Bali.
This is why you are a man.
We're gonna go ahead and jump into the next topic. That was great feedback though on the first topic. So next topic is if they can go a whole day without talking to you or even texting you, do they really love you? What are your communication keys in a relationship? So
You better be dead.
As in, something better happen to
That's
you.
not a big deal.
You dead. You better be dead.
That is not a big deal.
Let me call 911. Missing person alert.
Well, why are the
I guess this
first
is-
question is why?
yeah, definitely. There's obviously been an argument, disagreement, whatever.
So are you saying like, is this person, are you married to this person in a relationship?
Yeah, so
or
you
just,
married,
I guess, partner,
relationship,
whether it's,
some kind of
okay.
relationship.
Oh, you're married? That's probably different.
So I think I'll speak on maybe, well, relationship wise, if I don't hear from you for like 24 hours, you said, I mean, I would probably reach out. So let's say I'm like so busy, swamped, this and that, and I just haven't been able to text in the last 24 hours, and you haven't been able to do the same thing too. I mean, it takes two to tango, right? You know, so if I notice that at hour 12, I haven't heard from you, I'll reach out and say, hey, you good? If you don't respond, you know, the next time I'll be like, hey, you haven't responded. So I'll just keep following up until, and if it's 24 hours and I'm like, okay, what's going on? You know, then I might start like panicking a little bit. But if anything, I should know what you're getting into. I should know what maybe like your daily routines are like, yada, yada, yada. Now with marriage, it's like, I'll probably panic more because I'm understanding that there's a lot more moving parts when you're married. So it's like, why am I not hearing from you for 12 hours when I know that you're not on the plane that's going to like freaking Europe? You're like not in, I don't know, you're alive. So why am I not hearing from you? But yeah.
It don't have to do with love. I don't think love has to do with it.
I don't think so
I
either.
think everybody's communication, the way you communicate is different.
Yeah.
So it's certain, and it's different with everybody, you know. So how often I call a good friend or my girlfriend or a family member is obviously different. So it's just, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I'd say that it depends on like the situation and like the circumstance. Like for say, if we're fighting, if we're arguing, or we had like a big fight, then if you don't talk to me, especially when it's your fault,
Period.
then okay, you're out of pocket. You're out of pocket.
Period.
You're out of pocket.
I'm not talking to you.
But if I'm wrong and we don't talk or whatever, okay, I would definitely like apologize or send a text like, "Are you okay? Like, what's going on with you?" Yes.
Okay.
Women
I'm like,
apologize.
please,
Women
I apologize.
Pound sign.
I apologize.
Women
If I'm wrong, I
apologize.
apologize.
You could know when you're wrong.
you don't even know that you're wrong.
More like they never know when they're wrong.
Okay.
Try to say it
Alright, so
right.
they won't even say it. They might know, but they won't say it. It takes a whole nother like kind of woman. Let me just stop.
Okay, so it depends on the situation. If it's an argument and we just don't talk for the whole day or whatever, I just feel like someone should say something because someone has to. Not everybody can be hot. Two of you can't be hot.
So
Someone
for
has to
you,
calm
how
down.
long is too long? 48 hours?
For me-
28 hours?
For me, it won't even be the whole day. Like, I'll be mad and everything, especially if, like, it's my guy's fault, it's my dude's fault. You know, I'll be mad, but, like, if he texts me, I'll text him back. I might even text him if he doesn't text me, like, yo, I'm still mad at you, but it's okay. You don't want to text, that's cool, I don't care, whatever. I'll still do something like that. You know, I'll still text him. I won't just, like, go the whole day and just, like, not say anything because, like, it's like, okay, I can do without you. Like, I don't care. I don't have you in mind. I'm doing my own thing. That's the message I'm passing across. Now, if it's not an argument, if it's just like, okay, maybe I traveled somewhere, or he traveled, or he's somewhere where there's like bad reception, that's a whole different scenario. That's
So
exactly.
with that kind of situation, would you go out your way and find a way to communicate? Whether
Of
it's
course,
Go
like,
find internet, Wi-Fi somewhere.
of
Go
course.
find a track phone or something.
Of course, you have to make sure your guy's alive or your girl's alive. You gotta make sure of that. Even though if there's like bad reception or bad network, you just have to make sure like, are you good or whatever? I tried to reach you. Like, is everything okay? Even if they don't respond, you can wait till the next morning. But at least you still texted. At least you still checked on
safety
that guy
reasons,
or that
just
person.
making sure that they're good and safe and
Exactly.
okay. As long as you're alive and I don't have to call the cops.
Exactly.
So
Same
can you be in a
serious.
relationship with someone where their communication style is literally they have to hear from you every hour or every 2 hours or something
Absolutely
No.
not.
like
But that's impossible. How do you, if you have a job and you have a life and you have to sleep and you have to just live your life, how do you contact someone every hour on the hour? That's not
Exactly.
possible.
That's like,
that? They don't
That's
have to talk about
Then now we gotta
That's
talk
too
about characteristics. Like, are you crazy? Are you obsessive? Are you
Possessive?
overpossessive?
Some
Are you
people are-
insecure?
Some people are like
Yeah.
I think I've seen something like that before, and I mean people are just they want you to be at your phone every second of the hour. Like once they
Like,
text
if
you
you
or
don't answer
something.
This is not a business relationship.
Right.
They don't owe you having to constantly contact you.
People don't get
in
that.
general. I
And
think
if you miss one text or you don't respond to something, then it's like
You know, it's like a breakup.
It's a whole conversation for like another 3
but
to 4
we're
hours.
adults now. I think when we were
Right.
like back in college or undergrad
Exactly,
days, we were
yeah.
very like we had that sense of like, oh, you owe me a conversation because
I owe
we're
you
together.
shit.
But now that we're like, we have real life shit to deal with. Like I'm not saying the cuss words. It's civil war right now.
Yeah.
It's pandemics going on.
Yeah.
People are unemployed. Look, I need peace. So I mean,
Yeah.
I have to
Exactly.
talk
I'm
to
not
you
trying to
And
all
rile
day
up.
long. I need to be able to be in the space. Like,
And
I want to just be communicative in general, but that has everything to do with me being in a peaceful state to be a good wife, girlfriend, whatever. Well, not wife, because if I'm a wife, I'm probably living with you, so it's different. But I am living with you, actually. But you know, if I'm just a girlfriend, it's like it's different. Like I don't owe you having, and you don't owe me either.
okay, what if you're living with your boyfriend?
Well, he's living with me. Well, first of all, if he's not home,
He's living with me. You're not living with him, he's living with you.
Oh, okay. Okay, why is he living with me?
No, because you said the marriage one, you said I'm living with him, but now boyfriend says he's living with me.
Yeah, I did say
I thought it
that.
wasn't.
My bad.
I thought you were trying to get us something.
The other way.
But yeah.
But
I
you know,
understand.
if it's a situation like that, then okay, are you alive? That's the question to ask. But if he's fine and he's like, look, babe, I just needed a day or two to myself. I didn't want to tell you, but I kind of got fired and it kind of hurt me.
Lord.
Put me in a space. I was thinking I was going to get promoted, but I got fired.
I'm
not going to. I've learned to be patient. I've learned to not. Because, we love to jump, all of us, not just women, but everyone loves to jump to conclusions.
Yeah.
So I think it forces you to take you out of yourself and be empathetic, even if you don't know what's going on, and think, let me assess the situation, let me figure out what's going on before I respond. I might cut you out of my head, I might have already written the paragraph, but I deleted it. And then I wait.
And then you calm.
And then I calm down.
So, read it. I know you.
Peter, you fool with it. Oh man, no, but I think so. Peter is basically saying that his girl, if she doesn't hear from him, she'll send him eyes, one eyes, and then after like a little bit, she'll send him the 2 eyes. Bro, it's so true. Like it's so true because low key, I mean, even me, right? I think I would even do something like that where it's like if I'm not hearing from you, it's not as if I don't want to care. I mean, if I'm like, damn, like, where you at? I don't want to come off as like overbearing, where it's like, oh, I'm monitoring you. Where are you? I just put one, one of those eyes. Like, okay, put the emoji there. 1 hour later, I put 2. And then 2 hours later, I will emphasize. With iPhone, you can emphasize. You emphasize the 2 that you put exclamation point. Like, what's going on?
Off when you see that you're not getting your responses on the text, but you can see activity on, like, let's say, social media.
Hey! What?
No.
That was that
High blood
episode
pressure.
of Insecure where, Issa and whatever that boy's name is from Houston, how he wasn't
Nathan.
contacting what's his name?
Nathan.
And he didn't contact her.
Yeah.
And she canceled him.
Yeah.
So
He was
because
wrong.
he was going through some stuff himself. So I don't know. I kind of empathize with Nathan because I was like, he doesn't owe Issa anything, but he
Really?
felt. I don't think. I mean, I feel like he could have communicated, but if he came back and was like, I was going through some stuff, I don't think she should have canceled him.
So Nathan, I mean, if he had, I think we eventually found out that he had some kind of mental things going on or whatever. And I do understand and I respect that. For me, sometimes I feel like you don't necessarily owe me a conversation, but at least I would like to know what's up.
Yeah.
You might not know how to carry out the conversation as a matter of fact, but just at least say, like from Nathan's perspective, I'm like, from Issa's, I'm like, okay, Nathan, you can say, hey, Issa, I'm going through stuff right now. You might not hear from me for blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Because he was on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
Posting haircuts.
Exactly. So it seemed like he ghosted.
Yeah.
You don't want to let people think, or assume. You want to just let them know what's up. And be like, hey, I'm not really comfortable like talking about this right now. Maybe eventually I will. You just wouldn't hear from me for like a little bit. That's fine. Issa would have been okay, cool. But yeah.
So Miss Cabran on the chat, she says he or she could just text something like, good morning, just letting you know I'm busy all day.
Yeah, heads up. Yeah.
I'll get back to you later. That type of thing. So.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So it's really just based on understanding each other's communication.
Yep. Understanding
what the person you're with expects.
Right.
And then understanding what you expect and kind of like in between the lines.
Right.
Like that.
And I feel like even though you're going through something or your partner's going through something, whatever it may be, you have to like say it. Like, okay, this is what's going on with me right now. You might not hear from me, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's better to say that than to just like ghost because it's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
The person doesn't know anything that's going on.
Yeah.
The person can't contact you. The person can't reach you. The person has no idea what's going on. So it's like, to that person, it's like, are we done? Are we still together? Because when you're dating, it's different from being friends. When you're dating, you're already like together. Like you have to know, like you want to know what's going on with your partner. If your partner's okay, if your partner's going through anything whatsoever.
Yeah.
So you just have to like have that communication. Even if you can't like talk to that person like every hour, which none of us want to do anyway.
Yeah.
But at least just let that person know that, hey, this is what's going on right now. I can reach you right now. When I can reach you later in the day, I will call you later, whatever. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine.
Transparency, I
Exactly.
think, is very key. And,
Yeah, I feel like when you're not saying anything, it's like shady.
Yeah, it is very shady, and it just gives me like the entire platform to think what I want to think. I don't want to do that. Like, give me something. You know, I just don't want my thoughts to be running wild. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
But John said in the chat, he said, but you know. But you can get on social media and bypass text messages. There are different apps, and sometimes notifications be tripping on messages, and you will call.
Okay.
There I go.
Every time.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I I mean, it has happened, you know,
Yeah.
a couple of times where it's like I kind of bypass my messages and I'm on social media or whatever. But now I make it like a habit to make sure, okay, did somebody text me? Do I need to like catch up on anything? So at least I know I'm not missing anything, right? Because I also hate it when I text somebody and then I see you active on social media. Even if I'm not dating you, like my friends or whatever, like I'll send you a text message, like ask you maybe like a serious question, and I see you on social media like posting like, are you okay? Did they kidnap you or something? So yeah, just making sure that, you know, we're checking everything.
Same.
Yeah.
Cool. Next topic. This is kind of like deep. Okay, so it goes. My wife has been stressed at work after her recent promotion to a leadership role. She doesn't tell me anything or want to talk about it, and it's already affecting our relationship. This has been going on for 6 months. Her boss, who is a friend of mine, over some drinks I mentioned how stressed she is. He decides to give her a less stressful leadership role, and now she's pissed. I don't want her to know I may have had influence in this decision. So this is an actual situation.
Oh shoot.
So basically she gets demoted
Yeah.
because her husband said something to his friend who happens to be her boss.
So did she get demoted or she just got something
Okay.
that was
Yeah.
not
A
as...
less stressful leadership role, and now she's pissed. So my assumption is she got demoted.
Okay. So y'all can go first, you know, kind of.
Well, you know, I kind of feel like he had. It's a
So-
hard thing because that's his friend. So if it's his friend and he's having a conversation, then I think it's okay. Because it's kind of like, imagine if a woman was having a conversation with her homegirls about how her man can't get it up.
Hey.
You know, you'd be upset because like that's not a conversation that you have outside of this household.
Right.
So you have to kind of have that understanding, like if we're gonna talk about things, we have to be conscientious of the conversation that we're having, because if my homegirl was like, oh, let me offer you some of these, like, and he might know, like, wait a minute, this is for erectile dysfunction. Why do you know that I need this? You know, it kind of is stepping out of line. So I kind of feel like he really had no right to go and talk to, if he knows that he is in a position of power to like have control over her position, then he really shouldn't have had that conversation with him unless he had already spoken to her before they had that conversation.
Okay, that's a great
Yeah.
point, but let's flip back to, it's been 6 months. He's trying to, you know, at least talk through things with her, but she's not giving in, she's not having it. So this is him going through 6 months of seeing that she's obviously stressed out.
Yeah.
And he's trying to be there for
He still
her.
shouldn't say nothing to his
His
friend. It's not
Find
because
a different friend to say it to?
yes,
Okay.
you don't talk to the person, because obviously he had, the reason why he spoke to him was because he kind of probably knew that he would have some control over
Influence,
her
yeah.
position.
Yeah.
So that's why he spoke to him. So I think that in general, you can't do that, because what if it was the other way around? What if he was manager or CEO or something, or co-CEO, I don't know. And you know, the wife goes and talks, because like let's say she grew up with a guy, goes and talks, and now the position that he's been working hard at, he's proud of it, but he's stressed, but he's proud. Now he's been demoted because of what you said when you had no right to go have that conversation. Absolutely not.
So I was gonna say, just from, so if I was in the guy's shoes, yeah, and I'm picking up on, okay, friend, this is my friend. Now they're not saying whether you were friends before like my wife started working for you or anything like that. Cool. I can talk to my friend, because there's somebody I call a friend, you know, somebody I can like talk to about anything.
Interest.
And yeah, and if something is like bothering me, or I just feel the need to share, I'm just sharing because you're my friend and I trust you, right? So the whole thing about, I'm not gonna tell you to give my wife a less stressful role. I don't think, it's difficult, but I don't think I will. If anything, I'll just bring it up and be like, hey, in case you don't really know how she's feeling, this is how she's feeling. You know, and this is me telling you as a friend. I'm not telling you as my wife's boss. I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you as a friend. You know, like, honey is stressed. blah, blah, you know, we're trying to like struggle, we're struggling through it, I'm helping her out, blah, blah, da, da, da. So for me, I'm not gonna tell you, hey, you should give her this role because of this, or you should give her that role because of this. I'm just telling you, hey, maybe you just, I don't know what you're gonna do, but this is what's going on. This is what's going on in our household. But the demotion and whatnot, that's kind of rough. Like I don't know. But the thing is, that's why I asked, is it a demotion? Because I've seen, so at work, there's roles that are more stressful than others. There's roles that are that give you more, I guess like their
Responsibility.
Yeah, not responsibility. I'm trying to like that put you out there, so you're seen more than like another role. However, the roles might be like similar in terms of like pay grade and all that, right? So because you have this role doesn't mean that you are better than the other person in this kind of role or whatever. So it might not necessarily be a demotion, it might just be a different path in like career. And
But she's
like
upset.
that.
Let's remember, she's mad about her new position.
So why is she mad? I can see maybe she's mad because maybe she's been in a new position for like a little bit and then next is like they're taking her off. You know?
I mean, I do think that also, you know, she has a responsibility to her. I think this is a communication thing.
Yeah.
She has a responsibility to her spouse or her partner to kind of, you know, be communicative.
Yeah.
So if he feels like he can't talk to her, and it's like he has this energy and he has to, he has to express himself and he can't express it to you. If the next person closest to him is that guy, then I understand why he went out of his way. But there should be a disclaimer, hey, this is just a conversation. I don't want you to take action because I know the position that you are in. I just want to express myself, like maybe asking for advice. Like, hey, so you are there with her. Maybe you see how she works in high stress situations. I don't see her in those situations. So how do you feel will probably be best? I think it's an ego thing. I think people don't want to outsource how to kind of handle their relationship. They feel like everything should happen from home, but sometimes, like, you know, you may only know your husband or boyfriend or girlfriend or wife in a domestic situation, but you may not know how they are professionally. But when you work with someone who's professionally, you can kind of see their temperaments. So he may have to say, okay, well, when I see her operating with maybe clients or operating with systems, I see that she tends to have this energy. So with this, maybe you should come to her with this type of response or this type of thing, like, hey, just lay out on the line. She's a results-oriented person. So maybe you have to come with a result and not asking her, but telling her, hey, this is what we need to do. That could be a source of advice. So I think, you know, it's her responsibility in the relationship. If she knows that he is someone who requires, you know, communication, to hold that part of the deal, and if she doesn't, then he may go out and express elsewhere. Unfortunately, she's going to reap the negativity that comes with that if she's not holding her end of the deal in the relationship.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to actually add on. Like, in the question, it says 6 months. I mean, like, 6 months of like no communication, like no talking, like she doesn't want to talk about anything. She's always stressed out every day. She always comes home and she's like, she doesn't want to talk about anything. She just wants to go straight to bed. She doesn't want to, if it's that kind of scenario, 6 months, of course, like he would want to talk to somebody about it, because I mean, men, I mean, if you're not communicating with them, in fact, 6 months is even a long time. If you're not communicating with them like that, he will just go seek communication elsewhere. He will just go meet somebody elsewhere, because like that woman is not constantly on the same page with him. And this is a marriage we're talking about, because it said his wife, you know, and everything. So this is a marriage. So he's like thinking like, hey, what can I do to, you know, help out in this relationship? What can I do to like fix this relationship? And still yet, even though he didn't like do anything bad or whatever, it's totally bad, he still went to like his friend, which is her boss, to like talk about it and everything. He could have gone to some other woman and would have been like, you know what, my wife is tripping right now. How far? What's up? Like, let's talk, you know, but still yet, he still didn't go that far. He still talked to, you know, his friend. But I feel like if he talked to his friend, he should have talked to his friend on a level that, hey, that's my wife. I'm not talking to you as, like you rightfully said, I'm not talking to you as her boss. I'm talking to you as my friend. Like, my wife is stressed out. can you do anything? Is there anything that can make her like less stressed? Not demote her, but at least not make her so riled
talk
up.
to her.
But
Well,
this
you should
always
have the conversation. But then I think to myself, you know, it's kind of like that whole, like, I get you took an action because of his response, but did he not, why did he not speak to her about it? Like, how do you feel about this role? I think was wrong on the behalf of the person who demoted her or who gave her less
emotion.
Okay,
It's
who took her responsibilities away. I think that should be a conversation that should be had first. Like, hey, how do you feel? Because if she says, I'm fine, then at that point you have to take her for face value.
Yeah.
He definitely should have said something first.
Because it might just be her getting used to the role.
However, going back to our previous topic, we talked about how not hearing from someone for 24 hours is too long. He's gone 6 months without knowing exactly what's going on. I hate to put the blame on her, but I do put the blame on her. But then I still put the blame on him.
Everybody's at fault.
Everyone's at fault. She didn't communicate. He was talking too much, and he shouldn't have gone out of his role.
Even the as a manager and a supervisor, there's certain roles that you take on because at this point you're not just like doing work. You're taking care of people. So if your people are not doing well, you're not doing well as a supervisor.
Right.
So in a management position, you should be able to, like you said, take her response as face value. So regardless of what's your best friend, your friend or whatever is telling you about his wife, who's your employee, who's your, I guess like your, your team or whatever, you should be able to look out for her at work. Not look out for her in real life. You're looking out for her at work. Of course, you're taking her life in consideration and all the things that are going on around and the things that her husband is saying, your friend, but you should also say, hey, from a career perspective, let's talk about career development. How is this role, how does this role feel to you, and what are the things that you're basically having as a challenge in this role? Do you feel like you can do this for X amount of time and blah, 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 blah? Do you feel like this would be a stepping stone into maybe that next role that you're desiring? So making sure you have all these conversations, and then if the woman says, you know what, I want to stick it out, just dug it out, I know it's rough, blah, 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 then by all means, I'll leave you in there. Now if you tell me, nah, I want something else, then okay, let's find you something else. You shouldn't even be in a place to listen to your friend who doesn't work for you or work for the company or the job or whatever. You shouldn't be able to listen to him and make a decision based on what he's telling you. You should be able to act solely based on what is between you and your employee. That's all. Yeah. So,
any advice for her?
I just say like try to focus on the new role and find ways that you can be better and just challenge yourself constantly. And look forward to the next thing.
And for him, should he tell her that he played a role in
that's your
because that's
better tell her. Just take the L. You suffer the consequences, but at least you said something.
And even
at least they're
after
talking. It's been 6 months. They got something to talk about.
Yeah.
Right. And after he like tells her that'll make her realize that she should work on communicating better with him, because he told the boss. He could have told somebody else. Like I said, he could have told a whole other woman. So it would be better for him to actually, for her to actually communicate.
Let's also be mindful, she just may be someone that likes to complain. So she complained about having a lot of positions, and then now she's complaining that she doesn't. So she just might have the
Exactly, but she has to work on that, like those complaints.
Some people just are naturally like, how they say, like how Karen is always want to talk to the manager. She just might be that person where she just complains. So if she just naturally, she's clearly is uncommunicative or non-communicative, and then if she's not communicative, she also just has a tendency to complain. It just seems like she just may be a negative Nancy. So I think
she have to really work on that.
She has to work on that. So that's another conversation that we have to have is what are her characteristic skills, like, or not skills, what are her characteristics?
If you can't talk to her for 6 months.
If you can't talk for 6 months and then you're complaining, and then you got a new musician and then you're complaining, we have a bigger issue.
Big issue. Yeah. Exactly. Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna jump into the next topic. Kind of goes along with what Megan was talking about earlier about the husband taking out money from the children's trust to start the business.
What?
No, you mentioned.
I said
you
the college was fun.
Yeah, you just made something no.
I
Yeah, so this kind of like, not necessarily a children's film, but
With the $5 million
I'll just say
thing.
it. It says, what do you do if your husband/wife does not believe in your dream/hustle like you do? How do you navigate the situation? Do you give it up or maybe negotiate a success timeline, etc.?
Negotiate. At the end of the day, if I am, okay, I think what we have to realize is just because we are a unit, what makes up a unit are individual pieces. If I am an individual and you are an individual, together we can become a great unit that can actually create and produce. But if I'm in a space where I'm decreasing who I am in order to appease you, then unfortunately I'm not here to appease you in general. Like, I need to satisfy you in ways, I have to consider you, but as much as you are important, as much as I am important. So if I feel like my goal, my dream that I had before you, like, mind you, this is also a God thing. If God called me out to do whatever it is, you got to move around regardless, because I think the issue in relationships is we become so much of the other person and we lose our sense of individuality because we're in the state of trying to make the other person happy, make the other person believe in us. But it's like, you just need to believe in yourself. So if you don't believe in my process, I'm gonna figure it out. If I have to go and get a separate job and use that money, then unfortunately, babe, you don't get a part of that money because you didn't believe in my process. Like, if I want to go and open I'm not saying I'm gonna do this, but let's say I wanted to open a boutique to sell lashes because there is no lashes for black women. I don't know, there is.
What if you wanted to start OnlyFans?
Okay. Oh, well, you know what? Hey, you're right.
What if you wanted to start
know.
OnlyFans? You know, something like
Well, you
controversial
know,
like that.
Safari and his wife, they both did OnlyFans together. So
What was it posted on?
what?
What were they posting on?
I don't
know about
know. But okay, let's just say pretend it's not sexual or it's not.
On OnlyFans.
OnlyFans is sexual.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, oh, okay, no, go
Let's
ahead.
pretend it's something outside of, let's pretend it's like e-commerce or something. If I believe that I can make millions of dollars off an e-commerce business and you don't believe in it, then cool. Just know that when I get this money, don't come at me trying to ask for me for the money. Like, oh, babe, let's go on vacation. No, because
So,
you didn't believe in
No
it.
one was fun.
I come from
You telling me that?
Totally
Wow.
agree.
Totally agree. Because you want me to believe in you because you never know. In a year, he might have an idea where he's like, wait a minute, I want to sell flying cars. Babe, I need about 2.3 mil. That's how much the kids got. Hey, I already know the logistics. I'm already good at math. I know how to draw. I don't know how any of that has to do with it. But we're going to figure it out. And you know, I have to, you know what, babe? I'm okay. I'm gonna believe in you because once I decided to marry you for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, for sickness and in health, I said that whatever you have in mind is part of my process as well.
Sometimes in my mind, I think that the universe allows you to experience people not believing in you to help propel you if you do believe in yourself that much. Because I feel like you have to believe in yourself. That's the most important thing. It doesn't matter who else believes or does not believe. If you don't believe, then it's not going to become a reality, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So as long as you believe, that's all that matters. But then when you get into situations where you come across people that don't believe, that's what either makes or breaks you, right?
It
And then
is.
some people don't believe because they can't see themselves doing what you're talking about doing. So it's not that they don't, and it's all subconscious, so it's not that they don't think you can do it.
Yeah.
Like if you say, yo, I believe I can fly, then I don't see myself flying, so how can I see you flying?
That's
right?
projecting though,
Yeah.
and that's an issue. You can't project your insecurities on
But everybody naturally does it.
but you can't fly.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Everybody naturally.
Okay.
But
Anatomically.
if you believe it, if you believe it, that's all that matters. And then once you start taking the steps and you're getting closer and closer, and I'm seeing it, you're making me a believer. I was a non-believer, now I'm becoming a believer at the end of the day. So it's hard, but I feel like it's just one of those things that makes or breaks you. Like if people not believing in you stops you from moving forward towards your dream, I think that's on you, not on anybody else.
But look at what Davido did. His whole story was the fact that he didn't want to go to school. His dad was like, no sir, you'll be in school, you need to be an engineer. And he was like, no, I want to be an artist. And he still did it despite the fact that his father threatened him, did not believe in him, did not care. Now his father is his biggest mascot, biggest supporter. So, you know, I think sometimes it can take you having to go out by yourself, not getting that support, not getting that help. If you believe in that vision that much, then
That's
you can go.
It reminds me of what season 1 of Insecure, where Issa kind of
Because Insecure is fact, it's real.
It's very relatable too. So Issa did. I mean, I guess she did kind of believe in Lawrence, but she was really just uncomfortable with the fact that he was not really getting anything.
But he wasn't communicating with her.
And he wasn't. He was just being like depressed.
And he said it in the last episode.
Yeah,
He was like, you know, she said I couldn't get to you. I couldn't talk to you. I tried to help you, but you didn't even have a conversation. He said because I didn't believe in myself. And honestly, it was easier to blame you than it was to blame myself because I could look at myself in the mirror.
Yeah, and then after they broke up, he just like got
He's
this thing
sore.
going, and
But sometimes it takes that. Sometimes the person you're
and
with.
Issa's like, shit, missed out.
But I mean,
she
you know.
she kicked herself in the foot.
Yeah. I definitely believe that you have to believe in yourself. If nobody believes in you, you have to believe in yourself because your success is what shames your enemies. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Once you succeed, all your enemies will just line up behind you and be like, oh, Naomi, we know you. Oh, we know you. Oh, don't you remember me? Yeah, of course I do. You were the one telling me that I wasn't going to succeed in what I'm doing, but guess what? Now you're here.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, always like push yourself, even when other people tell you like you can't do stuff, even if it's your spouse.
But that's
like,
hard because
it's hard, but you have
It's very difficult.
to. You have to, and you'll still show him. You still show him that even when you succeed, you still be like, weren't you the one telling me that I wasn't going to do this? Guess what?
It takes a different kind of willpower. To me, it takes a different kind of willpower for you to not basically go. Well, if your spouse is against you or just not supportive, it takes a different kind of willpower to just say, I'm gonna ignore all the things they're saying and just do whatever.
It does.
Because it makes you wonder, like, what is the foundation of our relationship? If
you don't
believe
believe
or support me.
And
That's what a relationship
If anything, you will start to believe them more because like you love this person. You love the hell out of this person to the point where it's like you love them like yourself, right? So it's like you telling yourself that it wouldn't work. So it's like you already have the doubts as a normal person, and the person who you just love, like with everything you got, is telling you, nah, I ain't gonna work. You wouldn't even execute. To be honest, I wouldn't. Shit, if you.
But
like, I would have to.
A lot of men, I've heard many stories where they feel like they would not be where they were if it wasn't for the support of their wives. Their wives being like you, because in a world where you are your biggest critic, you see yourself more than anybody else does. So you are also the first person to tell yourself you can't do it before someone else does. Because you see someone else do it and like, wow, well, that like Instagram has shown me that you can literally have the mind of a peanut and literally the willpower of an egg and still become a millionaire. Because you just said, I can do this. Period. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, the leader of the free world.
And oh, what's your just say?
Wait, I thought you was like, wait, what are you talking about? The mind of a peanut? You said the mind of a peanut.
I said the mind, like you may not have a lot of understanding, but just because you were able to do it, like you said, you know what? I want to sell gold-plated rocks with a toothpick attached to it. There is a niche in the world that would buy that. And because you know that, life is about marketing. It's all about marketing, and you believe that you can market a dream or it's happened so many different times.
It's crazy. It's crazy because, for example, Tesla doesn't even market.
Yes.
If you guys have noticed.
They don't.
They don't market. They do not.
At all.
They literally just sell from word of
mouth.
Expect stuff to. I mean, they do market, but they don't. They don't do the natural.
They're setting the trends. They're setting the standard. So
I didn't even know the Model Y was out until recently, and it's been out for a minute. So that is like you said, if there's a niche and you just pick at it and exploit that niche and just show people what they don't get or what they haven't been getting, and you can basically do anything as long as you're solving the problem.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I do have a question real quick. This comment in the chat says, what if I'm 42 and want to be a rapper?
Huh?
Actually, no, because what's his name? I asked you some Bentley truck. What's his name? He's tall. He's like 6'5". 2 Chainz. He's like 40 something, started rapping at 40. So if you let me hear your bars first. Let me hear these bars
Run me that
because
track.
run me that track
Run
one
me that
time.
track.
And you know, and then what I'll do is if I have resources, I might be like, hey, okay, I don't like this, but maybe someone does. So let me put you in the same position as someone who is a little bit more, listen, make the music yourself, and let's have like a little tiny listening party amongst our friends.
Right.
See how they
feel about it.
You know, don't even tell them that it's you. Just say like, hey, you know what? I got
just-
a friend of a friend who just dropped this track. Like, what's up? Like, listen to it. And if everyone's kind of like,
So
Feeling you.
somebody in the comments said, oh crap, where'd it go?
Just like that, I Googled Tesla Model Y.
Oh yeah, John was saying that, but somebody said something along the lines of, I hate when men use the excuse of chasing their dreams to not do certain things that they should be doing in a marriage. You know, basically just being lazy, right?
Get
So
it.
all in the name of saying, oh, I'm chasing my dream, or I'm chasing this dream, or I'm trying to achieve this thing, then you start slacking in your marriage. I think that's what they said. I can't find the exact comment.
I get it.
Yeah.
But I think that for sure. You need to be on your toes all the time in your relationship, in your marriage,
Right.
and just make sure that you're not getting too comfortable. I mean, we all do it, right? So nobody's innocent, but we just need to do better and make sure that we're not ignoring our partner, regardless of anything that we're chasing. Now, if you know that you're in a relationship and you know that this calling of yours is what comes first, then you might need to go ahead and break up that relationship.
Here's the thing though, like, look at all these successful people and then look at their marriages.
Yeah.
From the common denominator I've seen is, in order to reach that success, it took a lot of invested hours that took away from the marriage.
Yeah.
And the person that's still married to them and stayed with them understood that.
Yeah.
Knew that they had to play the back role in order to see that success.
That's because it's not just your dream, it's our dream. Yeah. So
Like, look
when
at, what's his name? Guy that runs Amazon, him and his wife.
Jeff
Bezos.
Bezos.
that was
And
there was
his wife was
she had a lot of impact in the brand creation of Amazon. So that's all I was saying. It might have been his initial idea and thought process of like just e-commerce and selling things on the internet, but at the end of the day, when you pitch this to your spouse and she sees the work ethic, she sees the vision, she sees the drive, and she has some kind of picture of the end goal or result, then it doesn't now become your dream, it's our dream. So I'm pushing and rooting for you the best way I can. And that comes and that comes with some things that we have to forego. We might have to forego some trips because you're like, doing these like showings or whatever it is, like if you say you want to be selling $1 million homes and making this kind of money, like there's gonna be times when we're chilling and it's like, oh, you gotta go show this home, and I gotta, be okay with it.
Right.
So it's just a sacrifice. And if I'm willing to make that sacrifice, then cool. That's
the
what
hope
it
is
boils
that
down
you
to.
know that you're with somebody that can.
I
Yeah.
understand that.
Yeah.
With you. Okay. All right. So good comments on that. We're gonna hop into the last topic. It says, would you share your location with your partner, for example, using the Life 360 app?
What's the Life 360 app?
Yeah.
It's an app that basically you join into the group with each other and you can see where everyone
Just use
is
like
at all
iPhone,
times.
find my, what's that thing?
Find my
It's
friend.
more
Yeah,
than that
Find My Friends.
though. Like, I can see how fast you're driving. I can see how long you're
What the hell?
Okay, no.
Like, it's literally.
That's
it's-
obsessive. Well,
Is it?
I used to babysit a family who went through a situation where they were facing divorce, and because he had cheated on her. So then eventually, she told me that story and like kind of just kept it in my head. Then she told me one day like a silly story where like Find My Friends doesn't update fast enough. She's like, yeah, I saw on my husband's Find My Friends that he was in the location, and I called him. I was like, where are you at? And he said he was at this location, but he wasn't there. And then like 5 minutes later, it updated, and I was like, oh, Find My Friends is so faulty. And And in my head, I'm like, you really calling him, asking him where he's at, like that often? So I'm just thinking, you know, because they had a trust issue, that's why. But then it's like, you gotta wonder, like, dang, at that point,
So are
it's
you
too
saying
much.
that anybody that has this app has trust issues, or can you actually see it?
Yes,
Really?
1,000%. 100. Only time is if,
In today's age.
are you special? Are you special?
Where it's a lot of
Are you
different-
special needs? That's another way. Are you, if you're special needs, and I don't understand, do you
Right, are you
have
disabled?
a
Are you
disability? Look,
Is there an issue?
Is there
Are
an
you
issue?
handicapped?
Yeah,
You know?
like
Yeah,
that's
it's-
different.
I wouldn't like. I mean, I would expect you to just keep me updated on where you're at. I would need to monitor your every movement because I mean you're a human being. So.
But that's how you're seeing it. You're not monitoring somebody's every moves, but
But-
you just know that you can see where they're at.
I
It
think
doesn't
it's
mean
kinda
like
like-
you're sitting there
yeah.
24/7.
I think kind of like because I know a couple of girls that they have like their location shared with their own girlfriends.
I share my location
So-
with plenty of people, but it's kind of like I tend, like if I go out on a date with a guy and it's the first time, like I don't trust anybody, so I'll be
Yeah.
like, I usually say, hey, heads up, I'm going to this location, this is his number, this is what he looks like, this is where I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
But, and then sometimes I just indefinitely share it.
That's really good.
But it's not a matter of like, oh, I gotta see how fast you're driving. I don't care.
No, no, I'm just telling you what the app does.
Just
That's
yeah,
not
it might just
necessary.
have
Yeah.
multiple.
Not the 360, but I share my location with my friends just in general because with all the people missing and things happening and people getting like anything
So would,
can
so
happen.
would you do that with your spouse?
I don't know.
So you can do that with your friends, not with your spouse.
I don't know. I just feel like it's different because
How?
I don't want him
Auntie?
to. I don't
Because they're
want.
different. Okay, the difference. So
Is it different?
I just don't want him to think I don't trust him.
is that what? That's not what it's
Wait,
about.
what? That's not what it's about, right?
That's not
If
what
he's
it's
like,
about.
hey, if he says, hey, babe, I want us to both share our location so we both can be safe and I know where you know where I'm at, I know where you're at, then okay, if it's a conversation, but I'm not gonna be like, hey, let me just randomly follow you because
Right, but
I'm not worried about your safety.
so-
Like, what's the mindset?
so the reason why you share your location with your friends is
Safety
for safety.
needs.
Yeah, right. So would you basically do the same thing with your husband for the same reason? Okay, say no.
I think so. I will do that.
So C. Taylor
Yes.
says, unless it's absolutely necessary, it's a hard pass for me. Just call or text.
I'm past.
But if it's fun because yeah.
To be honest, I've never shared my location
With
anybody.
anyone?
Your
To
mom,
be honest, my mom,
your boyfriend.
my mom's in Nigeria, so there's
Yeah.
no points in even doing that. But like I've never, my boyfriend, no, we've been together for like 2 years and like no, we've never shared location because I feel like it shouldn't get to that point where you have trust issues or you have issues with me knowing where I am to the point that you have to be like, okay, share me your location, I'm gonna meet you right now, whatever.
What
Because
if you guys like when somebody's like out of town or something and you're just like, man, let me just share my location just in case anything.
Yeah.
even when I've been out of town, I've been out of town so many times. I've traveled so many places,
Don't
and
share your
still,
location.
I still didn't share my location because it's like I feel like I don't know. I just feel like it's not necessary and it's not really needed because like he knows me, he knows where I am, he knows like I'm not gonna lie about anything. I have nothing to lie about, you know. So it's like,
But
I
it's
know-
like- something happens.
But they put you inside van now real quick, just one they put you
Yeah.
and then
At least I could ping your last location.
But you said you share with your friends, but you hesitated when it came to
But then I had to think about it, and then I said, okay, it's my husband, and we have that conversation. then
Okay, I get it. For safety reasons,
Yeah,
fine.
that's
But
it.
just because nowadays, like I have so many friends where it's like when they're hanging out with me or where they're hanging out with other people, their boyfriends will be like, "Where you at? Send me your location." Like,
Okay, that's
what's wrong with
different.
you?
Uncle needs
Like
to relax.
your friend, your girlfriend and I have friends. Like, chill
Uncle.
out. Like you know, so it's like
Uncle
I don't
needs to
know.
relax.
I wouldn't ask you for it to be sharing it on a like normal basis, but if I know that say you're on a trip or you're in unfamiliar territory,
Okay, that makes
I'll
sense.
say, hey, like share a location, or I'll say if you feel like sharing a location, you can just to just to for that added safety. It's always going to be up to you. And as well myself, if I feel the need to share my location with you, then I will. So yeah, vice versa.
I don't know. It's because like people nowadays they make this sharing location so like obsessive.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like, oh, that's my girlfriend. Oh,
If
even though
it's
she's the prettiest girl in the world, they're like, oh, let me know where you are. I don't want no niggas on you. I don't want no guys on you. I don't want nobody doing like.
I don't need
I feel like
Relax.
that's different.
I don't need to.
That's how they do it.
I
They
look
make
at
it
as
so-
a safety type of thing. Like,
Yeah, I don't.
it's just if anything was to happen, at least I know where your last whereabouts were.
Yeah, that's-
I literally don't have to go through. I mean, what do you call it?
Your life.
Yeah, like for me,
Yeah.
if I get to know where I'm I'll find my way and do what I need to do.
I feel like
Right.
that's
I find out regardless.
Yeah, if I really need to find out.
I can find out regardless.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
I
not.
don't know. People make it like a trust thing. It's just
But
they go overboard.
Because they're like, I didn't know this. He's like, wait, let me talk to you after the show.
Ways of just yeah. Like I saw a video on Instagram where a girl was putting, the tile thing that it's like a tracker. You put tile in like your wall.
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah, so she put it in, I guess her boyfriend's gas tank.
That's what I'm saying. Like they go overboard.
That's a lot.
Really? Like,
In her
come on.
Like, the little compartment right there.
Would he have to do that?
Where you
if they
just
had the
on the side?
360 app?
Huh?
I said he wouldn't have to do that if they had the if he had the Life 360 app.
But that's the thing, he has to consent to it now.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, what's the big deal with people sharing where they at all times? Unless you're doing something that.
How do you feel about it? What is your idea?
Exactly.
I actually have it.
Y'all like 360.
So you would follow your girlfriend all day on everything, how she's fast she's driving, when she's taking a shit, all
I would
that shit.
just wait. You can't tell when they're taking.
But she has her
Wait,
phone,
wait, wait.
so you know what you clearly can see the outlet of her home. So
Right.
Are you doing it for safety reasons or you're doing it because
It's
like-
okay because I barely even go on it, to be honest.
Okay.
Like I have it on my phone. I barely go on it. I even share it with my daughter and my daughter's mom.
But your daughter, that's
Like,
1000%
Because they,
different.
yeah. So it's like I'm just saying in general. Like I don't see an issue with. I share with my siblings.
Okay.
Like I can't think of the last time I actually went on the app, to be honest. Right. I know that if I'm trying to reach, let's say my daughter, if I'm trying to reach my daughter and she's not picking up, then I'll just look and see where she's at. And then, especially if I see she's at grandma's house, it's terrible reception there. I can see why she's not picking up, so I just call the other phone or whatever. Like, it's just, if I'm trying to reach somebody and for some reason they're not picking up, I might just hop on there and see where they are. But it's not like I'm trying to see if they're taking a shit or I'm
Does it trap you down?
I'm just saying, like, if
I mean,
it
that's
sounds
understandable,
360 is a
definitely.
full circle.
But the
So
thing
you
is,
know what
like,
I'm
in
doing
today's world-
from
but
morning till
in
night.
today's
world,
world,
especially
it's
people in the
crazy
20s.
because back in the day before
They go
technology,
overboard.
nobody thought about all this kind of stuff, right?
Exactly.
But as we evolve, there becomes a need for this kind of things because in today's world, there's crazy stuff that's going on. So, shit, if I what if I lost my phone, right? I need to figure out, well, where is it? Because I know there's a Life 360 app on it. I can hop on somebody else's phone that I'm the app with, and they can see where my phone is. They can save me a lot of money.
Yeah.
I actually had a situation where I was at the gas station and I used to fight my iPhone aspect of having an iPhone to figure out where it was.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like, it's just, you never know when you're gonna need to know the actual. Here, all in all, at the end of the day, we're sharing our locations with these major corporations. We're already sharing it. What's the big qualm about sharing it with your spouse or your?
A major corporation
your mate?
doesn't care if you're at a party at 2 o'clock in the morning.
yeah,
if you're at
I'm
your
not
homegirl's
cheating
house.
on my- I'm just
Whereas
kidding.
there's an
Yeah.
emotional
Yeah, we're not-
attachment.
But here's the thing though, if you're at a party, regardless of the app, like I should know, right? Like, do I need the app to let me know that you're a party?
Exactly.
I don't think that.
That's what we're
I
saying.
just think that we become a little too obsessive.
Like, I should know if my
That's
girl
what
is
I'm
party.
saying.
What's
The
wrong with
obsessive
that?
part, the
I
obsession,
You
shouldn't
should
have to hop on
know
that.
the possessiveness.
So if my girl has a problem with telling me that she's at a party, then we probably don't need to be in a relationship. The app shouldn't be the key.
But maybe she
to
just
let me
wants
know.
to just have a day to herself. I don't
She
know.
can have a day to herself. That's
But
no
she gotta
problem.
tell
But it's communication. You're the one that said you can't go 24 hours. Well, what was your?
I said it's okay.
Oh, you
I
said
it
it's
was
okay.
fine.
Okay, all right.
The thing is, I'm really big about personal space. So
Personal space is
I already
fine,
don't
but-
talk to people all the time in general. I don't talk to anyone every single day. Now, if they contact me, then sometimes, yeah, but most of the time, like, if I just, especially now, with everything going on and emotions are high and angers are high, sometimes you just need to you just want to just be to yourself. And I get it. The issue is when you get into a relationship, you kind of put yourself in a situation where you're like, okay, I relinquished a little sense of my individuality, so now I have to be more communicative. But sometimes, like, if you just want to just go out with your friends, you don't want to tell someone, I don't have kids with you, we're not married, we don't have a last name together, we don't listen, let me just go out, I beg, please.
Please.
Oh
God, please.
That's all
That's what I'm saying. That's why that whole sharing your location thing, I feel like it gets too obsessive because some guys nowadays, because some guys in these days, they're like, once you're dating them, it's just all about them. It's just like, you're dating them, they're the only friend you can have.
Exactly.
You can't have any other friends.
Yeah, talk to them all day long.
Your whole world.
No problem.
You are not my world. You are a part of my world. But you are not. But you know the thing about men I've noticed is, and I've noticed the situation, this is what I think would give women a lot more peace is, a woman makes her relationship her whole world, whereas a man makes a relationship a part of his world because he knows how to have fun with his boys. He can go out. He can play basketball.
But the minute the girl says, "Let me go hang out with my girls,"
it's an issue.
It's a problem.
With your girls, who gonna be there?
Exactly.
No, I should be there.
You know,
with you when you're hanging out with your
let me
guys.
have my fun, and I just feel like if we were all okay with just having the conversation, just like let me be out, let me do my thing. It's not a problem. Why is it a problem?
Let me do your thing with you.
No! You can. You can stay home. You can go out with John. You can go out with James. You can go
I'm tired of hanging out with my boys. I'm like, babe, where you go? I want to come too.
We can go out separately. It's my turn.
You dress like that. You look.
I want to wear my freedom dress.
You look good as hell. I want to come too.
I'll wear that dress the next week, and we can go out.
Bro,
Okay?
I'm sorry. I'm talking out of experience because I'm about to put my boyfriend on blast right
Put
now.
him on blast.
This is the type of stuff he does. He has his friends. He goes out. I'm like, okay, go have fun. Whatever.
Yeah, do you?
The minute I say I'm going to hang out with my friends, is there a problem? No. Where are you going?
No.
Oh, you want to leave me?
And that's because
You want to
leave me?
Probably because you be looking good and like, you know, you're walking
I'm beautiful. I'm a
Then
nerd.
you're like, where are you going? I want to come too.
No, I'm sorry. You got with the beautiful babe, so this beautiful
you already
babe
knew what you were walking
goes
into.
out.
So, okay.
You met me out probably, so I'm gonna be consistent.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep it
What's my
positive.
message in
I'm not
church?
pretending.
You met me in church. Look, I'm going on my church friends. We decided to go to some type of.
Let's go out Praise God together. That's fine. I'm coming too.
That's what they do.
I'm coming too.
See, I get it. At that point, you know, we just need to be on a leash together because clearly you need a puppy. That's what you need, a puppy girlfriend who just comes with you everywhere.
Everywhere, handbag.
The comment in the chat says, but seriously though, there's a level of accountability required in a relationship. It's no longer about I.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Like in terms of I owe you my location always?
No, not necessarily. So, here's what I was thinking when y'all was talking.
Let's be understand
I
this one.
feel like sharing your location brings out a bigger issue. Because I feel like if there is no issue, there should be no reason to worry about sharing your location with.
See, the thing about it is, my mother told me this. She said, she and my father have been married for over 30-something years. And she said, get you a man that trusts you, that allows you to go out, that allows you to live your life, because at some point, that excitement that you have in a relationship, it dissipates. You guys develop a routine with each other. So you still, once you like want to be obsessed and be on him, this is my man, I want to be with him all the time, that kind of dissipates. You still want him, you love him, but you then eventually, you kind of get out of that world and you go back to kind of who you are. Be with someone that allows you to go out. My mom's like, she sometimes comes to Houston, the land of the Nijas, and she goes to birthday parties, she goes to weddings, she goes to graduations, and she said, you know what, I can call your dad right now, and I can go to Florida with my friends, and he won't say anything. He knows, he trusts me. Now I'll let him know the address I'm at. I'll let him know who I'm with, because if something happens, he will at least have a paper trail.
That's what happens.
But it's not a matter of he's now not saying, babe, you can't go, nor is he saying, babe, I'm coming with you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a different level of trust. But I feel like the issue is, what is the mentality attached to following my every move and every location?
Yeah.
Right.
See, and I feel like